Sheikha Moza bint Nasser isn't just Qatar's queen. She's a $15 billion zero-sense force of intelligence, elegance, and geopolitical impact. From championing education to redefining royal influence, her life blends luxury with purpose. Get ready to explore how one woman is reshaping the future of an entire nation and the world beyond. Early life and education. Born in 1959 in Qatar, Sheikha Moza bint Nasser is not your average queen. She was raised in a time when most women in the region were expected to stay in the background, but she had other plans. Armed with a degree in sociology from Qatar University, she broke tradition and entered the world stage with a bold vision for her country's future. Her education wasn't just for display. It became a powerful tool that would help her transform Qatar from a small Gulf nation into a global player in education, diplomacy, and philanthropy. Sheikha Moza holds multiple honorary doctorates from institutions like Georgetown University, Virginia Commonwealth University, and Imperial College London, reflecting her global influence. She used her platform to launch the Qatar Foundation, which now spearheads initiatives in education, scientific research, and innovation. One of her greatest legacies is Education City, a $1.5 billion zero-sense complex hosting branches of top universities like Carnegie Mellon, Georgetown, and Northwestern. But this queen doesn't just build campuses, she builds hope. Her Education Above All Foundation works in over 55 countries, helping children in war zones and impoverished regions gain access to learning. She's also a champion for women's empowerment, pushing for leadership roles and education for girls across the... Despite her activism, Sheikha Moza lives a life of refined luxury. She is known globally as a fashion icon, often seen wearing bespoke gowns from Valentino and Chanel. She owns multi-million-dollar properties in London and leads Mishara Properties, driving sustainable urban development in Doha. With an estimated personal net worth of $15 billion, zero cents, Sheikha Moza proves that grace and power can coexist. She blends Qatari tradition with modernity in a way few global figures can match, earning her a place as one of the most respected and influential women in the world today. The rise of an influential queen. When Sheikha Moza bint Nasser married Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani in 1977, she didn't just become royalty, she stepped into the heart of Qatar's transformation. As the second wife of the then heir to the throne, many expected her to play a traditional, quiet role. Instead, she emerged as a modern queen with a mission. As consort of the emir and mother to Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the current emir of Qatar, Sheikha Moza used her position not for show, but for change. While navigating royal protocols, she helped shape policies around education, healthcare, and women's rights, becoming a force behind the scenes and in front of global audiences. She didn't just talk reform, she lived it. While her husband focused on geopolitical leadership, Sheikha Moza became the face of social development, often representing Qatar on the world stage. Her presence at United Nations summits, UNESCO conferences, and World Economic Forums marked a dramatic shift in how Gulf royal women were perceived. Suddenly, the image of an Arab queen was intelligent, powerful, and fashionably modern. Despite her public life, Sheikha Moza managed to remain deeply involved in family matters, raising 7 children, all educated in top-tier institutions. And yes, her lifestyle matches her status. She reportedly resides in Doha Royal Palace, a sprawling complex that includes private gardens, art galleries, and a fleet of luxury vehicles. Rumors suggest her London estate is worth well over $100 million, zero cents. In a world where royalty is often seen as symbolic, Sheikha Moza redefines what it means to be a queen. She's not just a ceremonial figure, she's a visionary, a reformer, and a living symbol of Qatar's rise to global prominence, transforming education in Qatar and beyond. Few royals in modern history have used their influence to redefine national education like Sheikha Moza bint Nasser. With vision and strategic grace, she transformed Qatar's approach to learning, not just for the elite, but for entire generations, both at home and abroad. It began with a bold idea. Why shouldn't Qatar, a small desert nation, become a geographic center of knowledge? To answer that, Sheikha Moza founded the Qatar Foundation in 1995, a groundbreaking initiative focused on education, research, and innovation. Under her leadership, Education City was born, a sprawling 12-square-kilometer campus near Doha, hosting branches of Ivy League universities like Georgetown, Northwestern, and Carnegie Mellon. These aren't just partnerships, they're game changers for thousands of students across the Middle East. But Sheikha Moza didn't stop at borders. She launched the Education Above All Foundation, one of the world's most ambitious programs focused on giving access to education in over 55 countries, particularly in conflict zones, refugee camps, and underserved communities. Her collaboration with UNESCO and the United Nations has amplified that mission. Through high-level advocacy and policy influence, she's ensured that education for all remains a central global priority. In fact, her foundation helped fund education programs reaching over 14 million children, many in areas devastated by war or disaster. And the investment is not just human, it's financial. The Qatar Foundation's endowment is estimated to exceed $8 billion, 0 cents, supporting everything from science parks to early childhood centers. Her projects include the Sidra Medical Center, a $7.9 billion 0 cents research hospital born out of the same vision, that education and healthcare go hand in hand. In a world full of talking heads, Sheikha Moza is a woman of action, proving that thoughtful leadership and deep compassion can literally reshape a nation and inspire the world. Champion for women and vulnerable communities. When it comes to empowering women and protecting vulnerable communities, Sheikha Moza bint Nasser is not just a voice, she's a force. In a region where tradition often overshadows progress, Sheikha Moza has carved out a bold path, proving that change doesn't have to come at the cost of culture. She has become a global symbol of female leadership, regularly appearing on Forbes' list of the world's most powerful women. But her power doesn't lie in words, it lies in her work. One of her crowning achievements is the Shafala Center for Children with Special Needs, a state-of-the-art institution in Doha dedicated to supporting children with autism, Down syndrome, and developmental delays. With cutting-edge therapy, education, and family support services, the center has become a beacon of hope across the Gulf. Her efforts don't stop there. She has pushed relentlessly for greater participation of Qatari women in government, science, and business, encouraging girls not just to dream, but to lead. Through her public statements and policy involvement, she has helped secure more roles for women in ministries, health leadership, and even boardrooms, once considered unreachable. Sheikha Moza's vision blends tradition with transformation. Wearing elegant, custom-designed abayas from her own fashion label, Qatar, she sends a clear message to the world. Arab women can honor their heritage while being global change-makers. And her fashion isn't just flair, it's a multi-million-dollar venture, reflecting both cultural pride and economic ingenuity. As part of Qatar's broader vision, she has invested in creating inclusive urban developments and programs that prioritize accessibility and dignity for all. From disability access in public spaces to inclusive education policies, her footprint is everywhere. In short, Sheikha Moza is not just the Queen of Qatar, she is the embodiment of compassionate power. Her life's work is a reminder that true strength lies in lifting others up, especially those too often left behind. Fashion, culture, and global style icon. It's not just her diplomacy or philanthropy. Sheikha Moza bin Nasser has become a global style icon. Her presence at state dinners, UN summits, and royal forums never goes unnoticed, not because of opulence, but because of purposeful agenda. She isn't just wearing fashion, she's wearing identity. As the founder of Qatar, her luxury fashion brand, Sheikha Moza has redefined what it means to be a modern Arab woman. Each design is a fusion of Qatari heritage and contemporary European silhouettes, elegant abayas with architectural flair, modern drapery with traditional motifs. Her clothing line has earned its place on the world stage, with private clients from Europe to the Gulf spending tens of thousands on bespoke pieces that carry a message as much as a style. Her outfits have graced the pages of Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and Elle, earning praise from fashion editors who rarely focus on royals from the Middle East. Her collaboration with international designers while maintaining cultural modesty has created a visual diplomacy that elevates both her personality and her country. What sets her apart? Sheikha Moza doesn't just wear brands, she builds brands. She uses fashion to highlight Qatari artistry and promote local artisans. Her appearances often include accessories and fabrics sourced from regional craftspeople, turning her public image into an economic engine. She's been seen at global events wearing $30,000 zero-cent couture dresses paired with rare jewels, but always tailored with respect for her values. Her curated wardrobe is a clear statement. One can be modern, wealthy, and grounded all at once. For audiences watching around the world, Sheikha Moza delivers a new vision of royalty, one that is beautiful, powerful, and culturally rooted. Through fashion, she has done more than make headlines. She has redefined what it means to lead with style. Economic visionary and philanthropist. Behind the glamour and diplomatic lies a mind of staggering strategic depth. Sheikha Moza bint Nasser is not only shaping Qatar's image, she's reshaping its entire economic future. As chairwoman of Mashara Properties, her fingerprints are on Qatar's most ambitious urban transformations. We're talking about entire neighborhoods designed for the next generation of entrepreneurs and scientists, spaces that blend tradition with tech. This isn't just about building fancy towers, it's about engineering progress. Under her leadership, Mashara has driven multi-billion-dollar investments into sustainable urban infrastructure. One flagship district alone is rumored to be worth over $1.2 billion, 0 cents, featuring green tech, public art, and community-first planning. Her role with the Qatar Delegation Bank shows how deeply she believes in building from the ground up. Through business grants, mentorship, and financing, she's helping thousands of Qatari women and young entrepreneurs launch ventures that reflect Qatar's diversification goals beyond oil. In the past decade, the bank has funneled more than $4 billion, 0 cents, into non-oil sectors like biotechnology, fashion tech, and clean energy startups. And she's not stopping there. Her vision includes global science collaborations through the Qatar Science and Technology Park, inviting innovators from around the world to work, invent, and grow right in the heart of Doha. But what makes her extraordinary is that every dollar she helps invest carries a human story. A startup founder who built a green tech lab, a young designer who created a brand seen on runways, a mother who opened a school. To Sheikha Moza, wealth isn't just a measure of success, it's a tool for national progress. In short, she's not just building cities, she's building a legacy that will outlast oil and outshine any skyline. Real estate and global influence. When it comes to gadget for influence, few royals use real estate as masterfully as Sheikha Moza bint Nasser. Her approach? Quiet power through iconic property. She doesn't just collect homes, she creates monuments. In London, she's behind some of the most coveted real estate purchases in the city's history. Among her crown jewels, a $130 million 0 cents mansion on Cornwall Terrace, steps away from Regent's Park. The property spans over 20,000 square feet, blending 19th century grandeur with 21st century upgrades. And that's just one of several holdings. Why London? Because every square foot speaks diplomacy. These homes serve as private residences, embassy-level meeting spaces, and cultural bridges to Europe. Back in Qatar, her investments shape skylines. Through Mashara Properties, Sheikha Moza backs sustainable, smart developments across Doha. These aren't generic high-rises, they are eco-forward, art-integrated urban sanctuaries. The newest project, rumored to exceed $1.8 billion, 0 cents, includes luxury residences, open-air museums, and pedestrian-first green corridors designed to redefine urban living. But there's more. She collaborates with award-winning architects to preserve Islamic heritage while pushing modern design. Think traditional motifs with solar panels. Think hand-carved stone meeting climate-responsive glass. It's where Qatari history meets futuristic vision. And let's not forget the cultural side. Her real estate choices are often bundled with public access initiatives, libraries, galleries, and educational centers. These aren't private palaces hidden behind gates, they are public symbols of Qatar's growing global voice. Each building she touches becomes part of a larger story. A story of wealth used not for isolation, but for connecting nations, cultures, and ideas. With an eye for beauty, a mind for strategy, and a heart rooted in her country's heritage, Sheikha Moza turns every square meter into a message. Qatar is here, and it's leading with grace, power, and vision. Global diplomatic influence and soft power. When Sheikha Moza steps onto the world stage, it's not just diplomacy, it's strategic elegance in motion. She doesn't need a title to command attention. Her influence stretches from the marble halls of the UN to the classrooms of remote villages. Her foundation, Education Above All, has invested over $2 billion, 0 cents, to educate children in more than 55 countries, including war-torn zones in Gaza, Yemen, and Sudan. This isn't charity, it's soft power at its most refined. Through education, she builds global goodwill and forges long-term partnerships with world leaders. Sheikha Moza doesn't just speak at global forums, she shapes the conversation. At the United Nations, she's a fixture on panels for sustainable development goals, and as a UNESCO Special Envoy, she's championed rights for children and women across continents. Every speech is measured, every appearance designed to reflect modern commitment to modernity and humanity. And let's not forget the symbolic power of culture. Through the Qatar Foundation, she has brought international universities to Doha, creating a true crossroads of knowledge. Institutions like Georgetown, Cornell, and Northwestern now sit in the middle of the desert, thanks to her vision. But it's not just what she supports, it's how. With her signature blend of Qatari grace and social vision, she's welcomed presidents, popes, and Nobel laureates into Qatari institutions, creating powerful images that bridge East and West. From Geneva to Davos, Sheikha Moza uses her voice to quietly yet effectively build bridges, influence policy, and expand Qatar's international relevance. Her approach? No shouting, just realism. In a world where many rule by wealth, Sheikha Moza leads through ideas. And that, more than any crown or fortune, is the true mark of power. In a world dominated by flashy power and loud voices, Sheikha Moza stands as a beacon of quiet strength and strategic elegance. Her legacy isn't just built on wealth, but on vision, impact, and grace. From global diplomacy to luxurious fashion and billion-dollar initiatives, she reshapes what it means to be royalty in the modern world. If you're inspired by how leadership, style, and purpose can come together, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Billionaire Story, and ring the bell so you never miss an inside look at the world's most powerful figures. The next story might surprise you.